Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we have to talk about the word depression because things are starting to look really bad, like really bad. But before we get into this video, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And if you want to see more content just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post this type of content every single day. Let's get into it. Now, although this channel is focused around the car market, I quickly want to talk about the broader economy. Now, I do need to say that I am not an economic expert by any means. I know a lot about the car market. I don't know as much about the broader market. Now, I research into the broader market every single day because, I don't know, I'm just kind of a nerd like that. And so I know a thing or two. And what I've been seeing in my research over the last few weeks is that it seems like everything is declining. It's not just the car market. Like sales for pretty much everything is declining across the board. And then you have all these statements from big companies like Amazon, for example, that are saying, yeah, we expect that growth is going to slow down and potentially be negative. Like it looks like everyone is basically saying the same thing, and that is we are going to go into some hard times economically. And so I would just keep that in mind as I kind of progress through this video, because yes, this is again mostly going to be centered around the car market because that's what this channel is centered around, but this ultimately is like a broad market issue, and it's not just here in the US. Again, if you go watch any videos made by finance channels, it's literally the entire world. Like we went from, euphoria in 2021 and now 2022, it seems like everything is on fire, and it's not in a good way. Like everything, it's like that episode of SpongeBob where he basically throws everything out of his brain except for breathing and fine dining, and then someone asks him his name, and then his whole brain turns on fire and all the file cabinets are on the ground and everything. It's kind of like we're experiencing that right now. And so I do find it a little bit ridiculous that for like the last year, we've been told that we are not in a recession right now when, well, GDP is negative for more than 2 quarters in a row at this point. And on top of that, we keep seeing reports of people losing their jobs. We keep getting told that the job market is strong, but then all these tech jobs just no longer exist. And the thing about tech jobs is they are extremely high paying. Like people that work at tech jobs tend to spend a lot of money because, well, you know the old saying, you eat big, you poop big. And so when you have all these people that had high paying jobs that no longer have high paying jobs, like that's obviously going to put downward pressure on the economy. Again, not an economic expert, but it doesn't look like things are faring nearly as well as what the news is letting us, or is showing us rather, and what we're hearing from just everything. It doesn't really add up. And this is kind of what leads me to use the term depression, because yeah, there is a big difference between recession and depression. Recession tends to be slightly shorter lived, and well, although it's bad for the economy, it's not nearly as bad as a depression, right? A depression is, well, a depression. And so, we've already been told for like the last year that we are not in a recession when we pretty much most certainly are. And so it's like, how long is this going to be dragged on for? Are we going to just continue to have, the economy slow down further and further for the next year, 2 years, 3 years? Like how many years is this going to last for before we finally, basically get confirmed by the people that apparently matter that, oh yeah, we're actually in a recession, but oh no, it's actually been happening for 5 years. So now it is a depression. Now I know that it might seem like I went on a little bit of a rant there, and well, I kind of did, but the point that I'm trying to make here is the economy is not in a good place right now, and it looks like it's only going to get worse, and this obviously is going to have huge implications for the car market, and so let's finally get into that. Now, I started making these car market videos a few months ago because I started to see some trends in the car market that I really didn't like, because it basically looked like the car market was going to go into what I would call a car market recession, and that is what we're experiencing right now. Wholesale values on a lot of cars have declined by over 20%, which is not normal whatsoever. And I thought that, this is something that I need to, like, I had like this huge urge to do it because I'm like, I got to make videos about this so that people know, so that I at least help out a few people from purchasing cars at a just stupid time and overpaying for a car that is going to depreciate a massive amount and put them into a bad financial position. And well, now things seem like they're going to get even worse, because the more research that I do, with general market trends, and then the more that I talk to dealers, the more it looks like we're going to go into a full-on car market depression. And that's why I talked about depression at the beginning of the video, because that's where the car market's going. And then when you look at the broader economy, it's like, it kind of looks like that's where the broader economy is going. And so it's like all falling in line together. Now, when it comes to what I'm seeing, let's talk about the general market trends, and then let's talk about some anecdotal evidence at the end. So with the general market trends, overall dealership profitability is going down. And this is because dealerships on average are selling fewer cars, and they're selling those cars with less profit built into the car itself, and they're just making less profit with the whole deal. Finance managers aren't able to make as much money. The accessories department isn't able to make as much money. Like, nobody's able to make as much money off of these car deals. And so profitability is going down within the car business. Now, a lot of you as consumers are going to say, yes, that is the greatest thing ever. And this is great for consumers because consumers are technically getting better deals on cars. But what this ultimately leads to is it puts more and more downward pressure on the car market, because if people are paying lower and lower prices, well, then that is ultimately going to push down those wholesale values at the end of the day, right? Wholesale tends to fall first and then retail follows after. And well, now that we're starting to see these retail values erode away, it's going to put even more pressure on these wholesale values to fall even further. And so it's kind of like this, positive feedback loop snowball situation. And you can look up the information for yourself. Like, look up the big dealer groups. They're not making as much money as what they were making before. And they're all forecasting like the same thing. They're saying, hey, things are not great right now, and they're probably going to get worse. This is why we're seeing huge retailers like Carvana go completely, well, they haven't gone completely under yet, but Carvana is about to go completely under with how much money they're losing and how much debt they have. The car market is just, it's bad. It's really bad. And so that's the general trend with the car market. Values on cars are declining, profitability is going down, and there's a lot of people that are now leaving the car business because they're realizing it's probably not the business they want to be in anymore. Now let's get into the anecdotal evidence. So obviously you guys know that I talk to a bunch of dealers and obviously automakers as well because of my job as a car review journalist. Now, I talk to all these people because, well, they're my friends and I like to keep up with them, and frankly, I want them to succeed at the end of the day because they're my friends. I don't want to see them, become homeless or something because they can't make a paycheck. And so I'm always checking up. I'm like, hey, how are things going? Like, how is business going and all that? And ultimately, some of this information obviously does, help out with the videos, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about right now. So the trend that I've been seeing anecdotally when I've been talking to different dealers, whether it's, a salesperson, finance manager, desk manager, is that, well, there's not as many car deals like what we're seeing with the national trends. There's less profitability per car deal. And things just aren't what they used to be. I mean, there are salespeople that I know that were selling 15, 20 cars per month last year that are now struggling to sell a few cars per month. And the things they're saying to me is like, it's crazy. They're like, I used to be able to sell this, vehicle A for $10,000 over MSRP, and now I can't even convince people to pay MSRP for this vehicle. They're complaining that they have to pay MSRP. They want some sort of discount off of MSRP, whereas people were just signing up last year. And so again, anecdotally, it looks like things are really bad on like an individual level as well within the car business, and it looks like they're only going to get worse. And something that is really concerning for me is when I have a bunch of dealers tell me that they're not getting any sort of end of the year push. Like, every single year, no matter how bad things are, you typically see an end of the year push within the car industry because business owners are trying to get tax write-offs, people are getting gifts, and you just have a lot of stuff that pushes people to buy cars. None of that is happening. Like, business owners aren't buying vehicles. Like, everyone is just tapped out. And with most of the buyer base tapped out, here's what I see happening within the next few months. First off, dealers are going to be in a lot of pain because, again, they're not making the amount of money that they are used to making, and frankly, there are some dealers that are just not going to be profitable. Like, they are literally going to lose money because, again, you got to remember, inventories are up, so dealers are paying flooring charges and they're just not selling cars. And so this is going to lead a bigger push for manufacturers to release some sort of incentive to basically start to sell some of this inventory. And this is going to lead to the manufacturers being in a lot of pain because most manufacturers still aren't able to produce as many vehicles as they would like. And now they're going to be put in a situation where they can't make record profits per vehicle anymore. They're going to have to discount these vehicles. They're going to have to release rebates, or else their respective dealers are just going to continue to sit on inventory, and it's not going to be a good situation for everyone. And that's what, again, leads me into calling this, a car market depression. we've seen a 20% decline in wholesale values over the course of the 2022 sales year. I would not be shocked if we see a 20% decline in wholesale values within the first 2 to 3 months of the 2023 sales year. Like, it is getting that bad. The amount of demand that there isn't right now is so bad. Like, I'm not trying to like be over dramatic. I'm being like as serious as I can be. It is really, really freaking bad. And so as a buyer, I would just sit back and watch the coming car apocalypse, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just, yeah, this situation, man. That's going to sum things up for today's video. As this situation continues to evolve, I'll obviously give you guys updates. But yeah, my job is about to get a whole lot more interesting. And, you know, this obviously is not like, I'm obviously reporting on this, but this is not what I want because, well, I can tell you guys right now, I'm sure those YouTube ad rates are probably going to decline by a massive amount as, you know, things get worse economically, and then also as things get worse in the car market because, well, if I make car videos and the car market goes down, then I think it's pretty safe to assume that my car videos probably won't get as many advertisers as they normally do. So, yeah. I'll see you guys.